The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's good? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Kofi Weaston, one half of the Dirty Hills, man. You already know what it is. I'm here to say what up to Off the Top Rope, man. Make sure y'all go follow, like, and subscribe, man. Make sure y'all go look into all these stuff, man. Y'all like wrestling, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Shout out to my son Blackheart all over there, man. Off the Top Rope, you are Dirty Hills approved.
At Halloween, Valentine made a big mistake. She took my belt from me. I mean, I built that belt with my own 2,000 tiny hands. And as the creator of that belt, I deserve it. She doesn't even respect it. She thinks that belt is a waste. She thinks she's above trash. Well, guess what, Valentine? I'm gonna throw you out. I mean, that all was last year. That was 2019. This is 2020, year of the rat. And if you think that for a second you can win even when the stars have aligned specifically for my revenge, I mean, with Cheryl there, you won't even know what hit you. So I'll see you at Nether Regionals. At once. At 7.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Blackheart, the head honcho, boss Don Biggerville, Off the Top Ropes podcast. Yes, I said ropes, plural, not singular, folks. Needless to say, you know what I'm saying? We here. It's another After Dark, you know what I'm saying? But before we even get into it, man, just want to give a shout out to all the fans, the supporters, everyone that's been rocking with us, that's been supporting us, buying the merchandise, you know what I'm saying, hitting the views, the plays, the whole 9 yards. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. We're grinding. We just trying to do our thing and having fun doing it. But needless to say, y'all know where to find us. Well, I'm going to tell you right here, right now. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Anchor. Follow us on Google. Follow us on Radio Public. Follow us on Breaker. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Podbean, Audio. And once in a while, we'll go live on Spotify Green Room. So you might never know when we're going to pop up in there. But also, follow us on the Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram, Off the Top Ropes Podcast. Put that thing in the search bar. You see the logo. You see the new Mafia icon that I just posted up a couple days ago. So you know where we're going towards next. But needless to say, man, tonight's special guest. Oh, man, it's just so coincidental how we came together for this episode. It was because of one person, and that's our fellow brethren, Wise One here of OTTR as well. Had ran into someone wearing this similar shirt, and someone had told him about a wrestler that they knew that, you know, was a wrestler and maybe they want to come on. So he told me about it. I'm like, shoot, send them my way. And, you know, and here we are right here, right now. But needless to say, let's give it up for, oh man, the Rat King. The Rat King is in the house.
It's good to be here.
Holy shit. First and foremost, did anyone ever told you that it's like a little pump mixing with an Enzo Amore when it comes to your set? I mean, when it comes to your gimmick, your background, just everything that you do, it just from what I understood, I was like, he's definitely that flamboyant person. So you can definitely tell off rip, but he has his own character that he definitely created himself. And you can definitely tell that this is all you right here. This no one else is coming. You know, this is all you bring into the forum, and then here we are. How did the Rat King gimmick come about for you? Or is that really just, you know, the lifestyle of, you know, of who you are?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Rat King and I pretty much one and the same. The story of the Rat King is that basically a Rat King is an entanglement of many rats. So the Rat King is basically the largest entanglement of rats. He is standing at 5 feet tall, and because of this, he is able to, you know, form human shape as best he can. He finds that other wrestlers feel more comfortable when he looks like a human versus, you know, a bunch of rats. So, you know, he's the kingdom and the king. And yeah, he's all about trash. He's all about, you know, reusing, reducing, recycling by just giving him all the trash. And
Yeah, I mean, Rat King has been my nickname since like before I started wrestling. Just because, I really do love trash. I make a lot of stuff out of trash. You see, I have my trash can right here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, it's not too hard to like, slip into gimmick.
So like, do you have like an artist background? Because I'm getting the kind of sense like you have like this artist background, so like you can turn trash and turn it into treasure.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
me and you, we have the similar approach. Like I will find some regular piece of shit, something like that I'm like, you know what, I could do something with this. Let me just take this home and I'm gonna just sit on it for a little bit until when idea pops up. I'm like, that's what's gonna happen with it. And that's my turning point to where now I'm getting engaged to actually transform something that no one would have even thought about to nothing. I know like jean shorts, regular t-shirts, this other stuff that I did in the past in my art career. That I did that same method. So, but first and foremost, I gotta ask you this next question. Where the hell is that belt? Where in the hell is that championship belt? I want to see this thing real quick.
Yeah, so this is something that I made out of trash. I spent a year scavenging around the city looking for I picked up a bunch of bottle caps. Some of these are from me, but a lot of them are just
is that El Mundo's Pizzeria?
Yep.
Oh my God. But you know what's funny? Because there used to be an El Mundo's Pizzeria out here in Boston. So, and my campus was like right down the street from me. So I would know that logo off rip. So I was like, there's no goddamn way. Yo, El Mundo's is everywhere. So I'm actually kind of surprised. But how long did it take you to create the belt?
The belt took like a year. Yeah, I lived in Roxbury, so I was getting El Mundo like all the time. Rat King is very much like an Alston rat kind of, gimmick. But yeah, it took me a year. I all of this is stuff that I collected myself. I also, so the thing behind the trash belt is basically it's like a weapons match championship belt. So every person that challenges me or challenges whoever the holder of the trash belt is at the time, they have to challenge them with, a bring your own junk match. So they bring whatever weapon that they want to bring. It can either be trash or it can be something, from their own gimmick. And basically I collect a weapon from each match that I wrestle in with the trash belt, and I add it to my arsenal for the next trash match. People can bring, however many weapons they want, and I keep them all in the trash can. And then I also keep trash from each show and I add it to the belt. So we've got a nipple pasty from, I think, one of the first trash belt shows. I have a sock from one of Blow's old wrestler's mom.
I see a crushed up. I see a crushed up bottle.
Oh yeah, we got crushed cans. We got this little, Sprite.
Yeah, I see a Corona top over there. I see Corona over there in the corner.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's crazy. So, oh man, because actually, if you see my background, I got a championship belt that I made from scratch.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that looks awesome.
You saying made out of cardboard, but I'm now OTTR champion right now. Cyber Yeti is, so I do respect for him. I can't rock my belt right now, so that's why it's hanging on the wall. But needless to say, you grew up in Boston, right? How did you become a wrestler? I mean, well, how did you become a wrestling fan? Because we're from the same background. You said that you grew up in Roxbury. I grew up between Dorchester and South Boston.
I grew up a little bit outside Boston, but I lived in Roxbury for a few years when I was in college. So that's how I actually started getting into wrestling, was when I was.
What college did you go to?
I went to Massachusetts College of Art and Design.
Me too.
Oh, really? Oh, sick.
What year? What year did you go?
I graduated 2020, so pretty recent.
Oh, so pretty recent. Okay, now I graduated in 2014, so I was years behind you. So, wow. So we from the same alma mater and everything else like that. So we could have went all over the place and be like, is Professor Nolan still is he still there to teaching Western philosophy?
Yep.
That's my guy. That's my motherfucking guy. Him, Mr. Kofi Kaiga, he's one of the painting instructors in the 2D department. Lisa Polea, she runs the whole campus program over there too.
Mhm.
Sweet lady. And then I know like a bunch of the guys, the security staff over there. Like those are my guys that I gravitated towards because I was always working at the I was working at the information desk in the tower building. So right there by the first floor, the little information desk, I used to work over there.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I was like, we said that, I'm like, really? And we didn't run into each other? Like, okay, wait, all right, what year did we go?
I think I started in 2016. So that was so I started 2016. I majored in sim. So we had a wrestling show, and that's how I started wrestling. And that was 2017. And then that was with Sully Banger, who runs Wrestle Party in Providence. And he pointed me in the direction of Blow, who I currently who Sully actually still works with us as well, but Blow is like the main promotion that I wrestle for.
Wow, that's crazy. So when was the decision that you said that, you know what, either after calls was over, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this? Because even for me, certain things happened to me when I graduated from MassArt that it changed my direction. So I'm still trying to, get in there and knock this off my bucket list. That's still something I still want to do while I still got the body, the mind frame, and and try to squeeze in the time to actually make that commitment. But when did you start saying to yourself, this is what I want to do, and this is where I'm going to see myself going?
So March of 2017 was when I started with Blow. I had one match at the college, and I didn't know what I was doing. None of us, we were all artists that were just getting trained for like one match. But I had that match, and I was like, oh man, I can't stop doing this like ever. So basically, literally that day, right after the match, I found Sully, and I was like, hey, like, how do I keep doing this? And he pointed me in the direction of Blow. I went to their February show and I checked it out. And then after that, in March, they had tryouts, and that's when I joined.
Wow, that's crazy. That's really something, man. Congratulations on that. Just when you caught that bug, you was like, you know what, I need more of that. You gotta keep going, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going. So that's amazing to see. Just the championship belt was up. I'm still stuck on that because I'm just like, oh my god! Like now, imagine with the crown, the sunglasses. I was like, yo, you reminded me of Lil Pump. Do you ever get comparisons to like the Lil Pumps, or the new generation of rappers right now that people can compare that to your gimmick, or do you just say like, nah, this is all original. I didn't get that from none of them. This is all organic. They copied from me.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily intentional. I've gotten that comparison sometimes, just like based on like the stuff that I wear like day to day. But I think probably a lot of it is like the like thrifted fashion kind of stuff, and like a lot of, I mean, Rat King is all about like glamour, but glamour in like a really sort of like glamour with trash. Like he turns trash to treasure. Like my crown is made out of a beer box. So I feel like it's within like different communities. I feel like it's very much a thing to like sort of try to, and within wrestlers too, like we're all like projecting that we're being really glamorous, right? Even if it's like not necessarily like what we're doing. So I feel like every wrestler sort of pushes that. You see a lot of like glitter, you see like the makeup and stuff, and like Rat King and the idea behind that is very much okay, like what are we valuing here, because, and like what does it mean to be like successful, right? What does it mean to be like a king? What does it mean to be royalty? So I feel like rappers do that a lot with like what does glamour really mean, in the face of like your oppressors, or in the face of like people who are doubting you, right? So that's I think that is definitely like something that I would say would like share with those people.
I like that response, man. I mean, it's all about originality to me. It's like if you have something, I mean, obviously in the wrestling industry, in the wrestling business, it's always going to be a gimmick that's taking certain elements and put it into someone else's, and then they make it their own like little style, and that's how you see the second version of that gimmick start happening, and it's just going to keep continuing on, so on and so on and so on. So, God willing, someone could be looking up to you, but yo, he's someone that may be proud to be, who I am, and now when it's their turn, you might never know. They might take little bits and pieces of the Rat King and put them in their own gimmick. And I think that's just fascinating how you can have people that you can influence, and they can really take up from your lead, and you can really guide them. So that says a lot too, especially in your shoes right now, and what's been going on and within the wrestling community. And there's more, openly, more coming out, I should say, that's in the wrestling industry. How do you feel about the new renaissance of now? It's like professional wrestlers now becoming widely acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I think, some of the people that I really look up to, that are sort of making headway for that right now are like Billy Dixon and Effie. They're hosting a lot of really great, like, queer-centric wrestling shows, and really giving people a platform to be seen. And I think that has been, I mean, they've sort of been so huge in terms of like booking and stuff like that. And then in terms of, visibility, like people like Candy Lee and like Jamie Senegal. I mean, and obviously like you have Nyla Rose on AEW, and like all of these trans women that are really like making it, I mean, like they, make me feel like it's possible, to be like openly like a trans man in wrestling. And obviously, I feel very lucky to be in a very queer-centric league. Blow, is both a wrestling promotion, but also like a social justice collective. So, I don't even know if I would have been able to like start comfortably, if it wasn't for having that space. So like, it's very cool to see, how much that's growing and how fast it's growing, because there are, so many talented wrestlers out there right now. And I feel like, they're starting to get the respect that they deserve, and, the autonomy that they deserve. So that's really important. That's really cool to see.
That's really that really is cool to see, because how times has totally changed from back in the golden days, the 70s, the 80s, 90s, and and for me, this still brings me back to the Dark Side of the Ring of the Chris Kaman double life story, and how he had to go through all that because at the time, and religion and certain other things that came into play that factored. There's so much stuff that he did or that he kept to himself, but then later on by 05, 06, when he came out, it was already because it was already semi-acceptable because of the timeline where between that gap to where he came out, you see Ellen DeGeneres coming out. You see so many other people low-key coming out in different platforms that it's like, well, it's gonna keep happening. So why are you gonna stop it?
Right.
You know what I mean? And for people like me, I'm saying, growing up in my demographic, I'm like, wait, but like I have friends who are gay too. You know what I'm saying? They still my peoples. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at them any other way. It's just like they just know where I stand, and just respect that. And so I have to respect you as a person, as a human being itself. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We all bleed the same color. So no matter what, I feel like if someone treats you some way, you have to treat them the similar way back. But just be careful about how like you do it, because nowadays people are sensitive. And that's the scary part too, this whole cancel culture thing. And I'm like, y'all taking this way out of context. But needless to say about that, I'm proud of you, because you can be spearheaded the next generation of wrestlers that can follow in a similar footstep. And you might never know what it can happen in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So so I say keep being creative, keep being flamboyant, keep being the Rat King and shit like that. You definitely gotta get yourself a new crown. That's something that I gotta say. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I would like to upgrade. I'd like to have more stuff glued and have it more momentous, but it's a little hard to do projects right now with my arm. But
Understandable. Wait, so your arm is injured right now?
yeah, so I have a broken wrist right now.
Okay, so what happened? So you want to give us the background story to this. What happened?
So took a sick bump off a garbage truck. There'll be more content about it soon. I don't want to, I'll let out the whole story at another time, but stay tuned. I'll probably post it to Instagram at the Rat Wrestler. It'll also probably be on Blow's Patreon. So if you subscribe to that too, you get to see some cool content from me and other wrestlers. But yeah, I mean, I think like with the whole history of wrestling too, it's really interesting because I mean, it has such queer origins with like sort of carnival workers, and I mean there's even like whole shared languages between like sailors and traveling performers and wrestlers who were all using this like secret language because both like they were gay and also they're communicating in sort of different ways. Like wrestlers have different styles of communication, so it all sort of ties together, and it really at some point along the way it really got like colonialized and really got like oppressive towards like pretty much, I mean, like gimmicks, like you said, like in the 70s 80s, like were so like some, it was pretty much all just stereotypes, and like if you were going to be a gay wrestler, like you had to be a villain or you had to be and if you were a person of color, like you had to be a villain or you had to be stereotyped in some way that like was going to allow people to like write you off and like not allow for your own autonomy. So it's things are coming back in a big way, and like Below, I feel like really part of our mission is to break those boundaries, and like part of what we're really about is like consensual violence. Like we're all fighting, but we're all agreeing to fight. So there's this element of being able to be in a space where there's violence happening, and you can sort of have that outlet of like watching violence, but you also can do it in a safe space. And like you said, like people are sensitive nowadays because there's a lot of scary shit happening, and like things are scary, and it's hard not to feel sensitive during those times for a lot of people. So it's interesting to explore how we can create a space that is allowing for that sort of catharsis for everyone. Something that we've been exploring is like trigger warnings before matches, because like it allows people to leave if they don't want to see it, because some people might not want to see blood, or some people we had a match where we were having a person who was playing a cop fight someone whose gimmick was that they were a sex worker. So that we didn't, that actually how that came about was that, like,
so it's a certain storyline that people might not get too invested in.
Well, I mean, I think it's that people were very invested in it, and people had, experience with that, in real life. So like to watch that without warning can be pretty shocking. So we've since then, been integrating that and looking at different ways that we can sort of still have, the blood and guts wrestling that we want to have, and still have the messages, and storylines that we want to have that are talking about serious stuff, while still keeping people feeling, comfortable or like choosing, because, our whole thing is we want to have autonomy around our bodies in the ring. And so we also want to like extend that to the audience too, and like allow people to, enjoy the show. And we have, everyone from like, old towny like wrestling dudes coming that have, diehard fans of, old like Attitude Era stuff, to like college students that never watch wrestling outside of this. So it's cool to see how you can sort of break the rules almost in a way that like allows for everyone to sort of have a space in the audience. So
and make people feel wanted and appreciated, but more importantly, they give it the same love back to you guys. So it's a win-win from both perspectives. But I can respect that though. Shout out to Blow, by the way. You got any else that you want to talk about before we slowly get out of here? I don't know if you got some other stuff that you got planned. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, no, I mean, this has been awesome. I just want to thank you for having me because this has been really cool. This is like the first wrestling podcast I've been on, so it's been awesome to just be able to like, explore, look
Mhm.
at my own character and also, communicate and like talk with someone who's also in the wrestling world in different capacities. So it's been really cool. Thank you.
No, hey, no doubt, much appreciated. We thank you for even taking the time of even coming out and being here for this After Dark, man. For those of you that don't know that you should know, this is where we give you the winning circle, aka the victory lap. This is where you can do your plugins, your shout-outs, where people can find you, your merchandise, your content, everything. Fire away.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to find me, the best way is on Instagram at the Rat Wrestler. If you want to find Blow, it's at Blow Boston. Also on Instagram, you can also check us out at blow.org, BLOWW for Boston League of Wicked Wrestlers. So yeah, you can look us up. We're also on Facebook, again, Boston League of Wicked Wrestlers. And yeah, we're putting out new content all the time. We just canceled our show coming up, but we're gonna have one in the spring. So look out for that, and we'll be posting online stuff until then.
All right. So folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time out to enjoy this After Dark. Hit that like, share, subscribe button below. Leave a comment. Anything else, feedback, anything that you can try to feed me, feed the Rat King over here, because I'm still calling him my Enzo More right now because he's taking the fuck over with the whole fashion game. And matter of fact, I was gonna say to you too, I was like, if he came out with the guns, came out with the sunglasses, and then on top of that with the grills, I'm like, he's gonna kill it. And I'm like, put on some grills. It's some nice sunglasses when you about to walk out with the belt. When you want to go out and do like your next show. I'm telling you, people's gonna be like, this cocky little motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, that's where you're gonna. That's where you're. I mean, it's maybe cheap heat, but at least people will remember you now more like the sunglasses and the grills, and then how just like you talk, you're gonna be like little pump. Boom. That's how people gonna remember you quick. But needless to say, folks, follow him, follow us. Until then. Next episode will be the last week of wrestling. I'll be back for that. But also we will have our homeboys, the Irish Wit Podcast, joining us that session so they're gonna see us how the fuck that we rock. So prepare for that. And I got a special announcement to release tomorrow. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we bid y'all adieu.